reconnected here. 1 second. Oh boy.
Well, it said that video's ended.
It's always
it's wanting to show me some girl doing makeup now.
And I'm not sure we're reconnected yet. And we're live. Okay, we are live now.
Are we?
It's coming up as a second stream as opposed to the first. Everybody, I apologize. It's a whole thing. My Wi-Fi stinks.
So as it closed down on my side over here, it came up with a pop on Facebook here, a little wall thing. It says, "My weight loss goal is simple. I just want to be able to lie on the beach without marine biologists pouring buckets of water over me." And I was like, I feel personally attacked by that.
I think that's a great retirement plan. I fully endorse that.
Yes.
That sounds good.
Here we go. All right. Mute that, and we're good. All right, we're back.
All right. So this is probably going to come up as a whole second stream as opposed to, it's not going to reconnect to the first stream. So it's a whole thing. I think we lost most of our viewers. They're not going to be back. But everybody who does catch this, thank you for sticking with us. I'll see if I can go in and like get the two videos, cut them together, and re-upload as a single stream. So we'll see. But anyway, the main topic is the 3 secrets to creating a killer brand name. The original stream is never actually going to see that, but it is what it is. Because David, you and I may have created a couple businesses here and there. We may have come up with some
we've done
brand
a couple
names.
Things.
So I thought we had some experience in this. So some of my favorite brand names. I mean, there are some out there that just knock it out of the park, like Liquid Death. There are so many good things going for that like you can't narrow it down. YouTube. It's another perfect one. It's simple. It's easy to understand. I mean, it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense when you go back to the idea that YouTube was originally a dating app, but it works perfectly now. Go figure. RedBull, another great one. Apple, Tesla. Tesla's a great name, man. If there's one thing Elon Musk does well is name stuff.
Man, Tesla is such an absolutely great name to have, and it makes me wonder when are we going to get the Faraday?
Right. Well, remember there was that electric truck company. Yeah, Dave McDonald says now we know how good Li-Fi is. Yeah, my Li-Fi went out. I had to change the bulb.
Yeah, somebody walked by and flipped the switch off.
Exactly.
There was an eclipse.
But remember the electric truck company that was obviously trying to be a knockoff of Tesla. They called themselves Nikola. Or Nikola?
Yeah.
So they're gone now. That's a whole thing that didn't stick around. So Tesla, that's another great name, man. I mean, there are some that just knock it out of the park. So how do you do that? How do you come up with such a perfect name? And you and I have been through so many exercises on trying to brainstorm and like writing down names and keywords and trying to piece these things together.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know for a fact I alone have probably spent whole days of my life trying to find names and figure out names. In fact, there's one of my projects I'm working on right now. I spent a long time trying to come up with a really good name for that. And you were like, well, what about this? You already have that URL. It works perfectly. It explains the idea perfectly. Just like that, I'm like, oh shit, I already have that. Okay, yeah, I'll use that.
Yeah. It matched all the Venns.
Right.
All the Venns overlapped, and it was right in the middle.
Exactly.
So that works. So I actually invited a person that I ran into down in New York City, who is in marketing.
New York City.
His specialty. He almost missed it. But he's in marketing, and his specialty is actually naming products and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I invited him on. Hopefully he was able to join us tonight. And if you're out there, Jet, just feel free to jump in the comments. Say hi.
He was on the original stream, and then we got booted, and now we're back. He missed it completely.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But I mean, but I ran into him down there, and I was super excited because, this is the kind of shit that West and I just do.
That's what we literally do it for fun.
Let's have a great time, man. So it'd be fun. It'd be fun if tonight we got drunk and thought up a whole new business plan and a name, and then we do.
Well, look,
and then the next day one of us buys it. Next one.
Well,
one of them's bound to work out.
For a fact, there's a whole agency, or probably several agencies, dedicated to just naming medications and new drugs that these pharmaceutical companies are putting out, because the names on those
Yep.
things are completely ridiculous. And I'm convinced I figured
Yeah.
out how they do it. Here's how they do it: a giant boggle cube. They got a boggle cube, and they just stamp that thing as hard as they can, and they say, "There's the name."
Yeah.
Roflexatrol is the name of the next drug.
Roflexatrol. I like the Robin Williams, the fuck it all.
Exactly.
Just take 2 fuck it all in the morning, and you're going to have a great day. Fuck it all.
Oh, these are really good.
You went upstairs and got the dog treats.
Well, I just noticed Ringo had some more.
He stole my dog's dog treats. Okay.
Well, the texture's different on these. I really like these.
Oh, okay.
They're easier to chew.
Let me see what you got there. Which kind is this? Oh yeah, so I actually changed how I make these now. So what I do is I actually mill the grains finer. So I actually got a new flour mill.
That's what's going on.
And I mill the grains into a finer flour, and that's what it is.
People, buy some Underdog dog treats. They're freaking awesome.
I'm not legally allowed to tell you that you're supposed to eat them, but Matt loves them.
They really do. They're ridiculously good.
Do you have the peanut butter?
It's like a sugar-free cookie.
That's a plain.
Oh, okay.
But they're good.
Plain as peanut butter.
Oh,
Well, whatever it is, he's enjoying them.
Yeah, they're good.
Oh, yeah.
I am going to dunk them though.
Dunk them in his whiskey. Okay,
The key to really enjoying your dog treats is to dip them in whiskey first, and then eat them.
And give
That's-
it to the dog.
that's really the key to enjoying much of anything. Is just dip it in whiskey.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. You dip it
yeah.
in whiskey, it's going to be good.
And 2 dog treats
Don't be
is
good.
all you need for dinner. They're very filling.
They're surprisingly filling. And now you're gonna have a nice wet nose and a shiny coat.
Yeah,
You're good to go.
God, my hair is always so shiny.
There you go. It's because of all the treats.
Now if we can just teach them to stop pooping in the yard.
Yeah, or peeing in my house.
Yeah, everybody's getting annoyed with that.
Nobody wants that, Matt. All right, so these are the 3 secrets to creating a killer brand name. Just like
All
the
right,
big
here we
kids.
go.
So the first one is strategic relevance. So that one's the most obvious, I think. That's why it's first. So it needs to be meaningful, adaptable, and distinctive. So by meaningful, what do we mean? Go ahead. Sorry.
That is so close to a business buzzword. I feel like we should drink for it just in case.
Strategic relevance?
Oopah.
Yes.
All right, I'll drink to this. Strategic
Yeah.
relevance.
I think we need to drink to
I'll have a
strategic
strategically relevant drink here.
Or is it Opa?
relevance. Yes.
Oma?
Yeah.
I
So
don't know.
so I actually brought in one of the ladies that works with me in on the drinking game, the business buzzword drinking game, and she's like, I had no clue. These meetings are about to become a lot more fun.
Exactly. You can see a lot
Like
more
we have to do it with
flasks.
water. Like we have to do it with water, but like
What?
when you're sitting there and you see, when somebody says a word and you see 7 people in a room full of like 30 or 40 or 50
Everybody
people,
picks up a glass
and you
of
see
water.
7 or 8 of us all take a drink of water at the same time, you're like, like it's fun. Okay, strategic relevance. Here we
That's
go.
awesome. All right, strategic relevance. So the first part of strategic relevance is meaningful. Is it meaningfully relevant to your niche, right? Or to your product,
Yeah.
your brand. Your brand name should resonate with your brand's message, story, or themes.
Yeah. So we just done talking about Tesla and how great of a name Tesla was.
It's perfect.
But if Tesla made wood planes for woodworking shops,
Right.
It's not really. It doesn't work. It doesn't really have it may work if you have a person who does it. It may be there, but it doesn't bring the impact that having Tesla on an electric car does.
Right. That's it. That's totally it. So
What is hilarious is that Franklin was the DC guy and Tesla was the AC guy, and we have Edison electric plants out there and Tesla DC battery powered cars.
Right. Go figure.
Yes, something happened.
Yeah. If Edison only knew that you couldn't use his technology without Teslas, he'd be an unhappy boy. So I think most people actually get stuck on this one. I think most people think of meaningful, and they're like, they stop at that. They don't really go further than that as far as thinking about what their name should be. So a second thing you need to consider is adaptable. Is it adaptable? Choose a name that can grow with your brand. should be flexible enough to accommodate future products and expansions that won't lock you into a specific niche.
Like Michelin.
Well, like if you have like a product, right? Like if I had Underdog Bones and I just named the whole company Underdog Peanut Butter Bones. Well, that doesn't.
Yeah.
What if I want to add more flavors? What if I want to add more products? What if I want to add chew toys in the future?
Yeah, my first company, the first company that I founded, I think it probably came in probably one of the best damn names I've ever came up with. And it's a company called Central Systems.
Yeah, that could be anything.
But in any one of those niches, it's like, oh yeah, that really fits. But it can be, oh yeah, that really fits in a lot of niches. So it is very relevant. And I'm not going to say the whole thing because I don't want to drink again right now. It's very relevant. So so for me, it was life safety and fire alarm. So in fire alarm, like, oh damn, I had one guy like, dude, that's a great company name. I was like, yeah, we just kicked it off. Gee, Chris, it's been a while now, but that was the first company that I had. It was back in 2005, I think, 2005, 2006, something like that. So it was, 2006, I think. But that name, it fits so well for what we're doing. But if it could be HVAC, it could be network connectivity, it could be installing Li-Fi,
Exactly.
I mean, Central Systems, Li-Fi installed by Central Systems, Central Systems, Li-Fi systems. It's there.
Right.
Yeah. It's a really great name.
Yeah. Super flexible. So yeah, I mean, that's perfect. I mean, you're right. That's a great name. Hang on to that one forever.
Yeah. I'm not letting it. So it is a in perpetuity company. It hasn't done a damn thing in a long time, but it's still there. And the good news about it, it's a shelf company, meaning that if I ever need it, I can literally pick it up and I can be open and going the next day with absolutely nothing and say the words founded. So right now I've got 18 years, something along them lines.
Right. Exactly. You got the history attached to it.
My business is not just since 2024. My business could be from 2006. So
check the LLC documentation.
I've got companies I've got a company that's older than a lot of companies out there right now, and I've got a few of them.
You might have one or two. You might have one,
and I might have a couple charitable foundations and some nonprofits. I'm ready. If I ever win the lottery, I've got all the shells I need.
You got a few irons in the fire.
Yeah.
That's my retirement plan.
$226.
There you go. That's
$226 million.
Add the million.
Big difference.
Yeah, big. Yeah, there you go.
It's like $756 million right now.
I only need 256 to carry out my plans.
Do we want to know what those plans are?
Wait. No. You got to move out of the way, West. And when you say plans, you got to be maniacal, Matt. You got to do it. I only need $256 million to carry out my plans and action.
I want to be dictator of America for 6 years.
And you think $256 million going to do that?
$226 million is what I need to make contact with the aliens that are going to provide me with the technology I need to make this happen.
I thought you were going to talk with Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the lizard people, and get it going.
I need Iron Man, robot, android sort of things.
And $226 million is going to buy you an android.
No, but it's going to give me enough money to make contact with the aliens. They're not going to talk to some cheap loser with no money.
Aliens are very interesting.
I don't think they care.
Aliens do follow clout.
Yeah.
If you have less than 1 million followers on Facebook, they're not talking to you.
As I say, oh man, he's only got 2.3 on Instagram. I'm out. Peace, bro.
Yeah, Logan Paul, he knows the aliens.
Oh yeah. Oh.
All right.
Wes got beef with everyone.
Everyone.
Yes, everyone.
So
all right. So
strategic relevance.
Strategic relevance. Drink.
Strategic relevance should be meaningful, adaptable, but then the third part is distinctive. You need to ensure that your name stands out in your industry, not just something that blends in too perfectly. It should be unique and not easily confused with any competitors. So again, Tesla, nobody's confusing that. Nike, nobody's confusing that. Liquid Death,
no.
Sure as heck, nobody's confusing that. Yeah. That is very distinctive.
Well, there is a brand of water out there that hasn't been completely upstarted yet called Murder Water.
Murder water. I don't know that one.
Yeah. Know about it.
I'm assuming it's probably a knockoff of Liquid Death.
Know about it. Know about it.
Oh, he actually
URL
owns the URL. Murder water.
Yeah, he owns the URL for murder water.
I think they just call that drowning.
Yeah, something like that.
Murder water.
Murder water.
That's
Flavor.
funny.
This one's Riptide. This one's plastic 6-pack rings around a sea turtle shell or something.
Yeah, this one's asphyxiation.
Asphyxiation. Oh, we should laugh about that.
Yeah, it's getting dark.
That's all bad. So I don't know about you guys, but they showed us the video when we were in like 3rd grade or something of the turtle caught in the rings.
Sure.
And I to this day still cut the
I do too.
the thing.
You're supposed to.
And I try to recycle
yeah.
them. Yeah. And there was somebody, and I really wish I'd have done this, but somebody the other day dropped a Apple AirTag into the recycling to see exactly where it ended up. I didn't go into the article. Well, a lot of it gets shipped overseas to like Indonesia and things, which is the largest polluter.
Well, sure.
Because they just dump it in the ocean. So
maybe somebody else's problem.
Yeah, we got $300 million for this stuff. All right, cool. Release the Kraken, and they just dump it in the water.
Right, I believe it.
I mean, I'm not a hippie, but don't do that.
Yeah. I mean, look, I say ship it someplace with a volcano and make the volcano's problem. So yeah. But you are supposed to cut those things. I totally do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I want to go buy a bottle of water called hair dryer in a bathtub. Hair dryer in a bathtub. That's the best. So anyway,
yeah, toaster bath has made a big comeback in the last year.
Bath. Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah,
that could be one of Noah's flavors.
That would work actually.
So distinctive. That is the third part of strategic.
That is very distinctive.
Number 2 is creative appeal. Is it memorable? Is it pleasant sounding? Liquid Death, say that how you will. Does it have visual appeal? Like the way it's actually written? What do you mean example?
Give me an example. You can't just say that without giving pretend your audience is stupid. They need an example of
Here's your example.
Well, we're going there.
Oh, good.
Here's your example right here.
Okay, David.
We have a Yuengling Oktoberfest in a golden can here with a couple looks like some wheat on the sides, and then we have our Myers Creek can, I guess. But if you were looking for a Oktoberfest beer, and these two are sitting next to each other in the cooler, as it were, in the chili bin, which of these are you going to grab for?
Well, that's packaging design. That's not necessarily brand.
That's impact right there to me. That tells me that this person is respecting and honoring the history of Oktoberfest.
All right. As far as packaging design goes, yes.
I got a gold can.
As far as packaging design goes, yes, I agree with you.
I'm going to skip Yuengling. I'm going to skip Yuengling now. Yuengling's pissed me off now.
So.
Oh, then I reached for the Sierra and I bought it. Now I'm going to skip that one too.
What about your packaging, your label, your name? How did you come up with that?
Well, that's a whole different. That's a whole story we could get into.
I want to know.
So explain to us what part of the appeal are you talking about?
All right. So creative appeal. So it's broken into 3 parts also. Is it memorable?
There we go.
Is it pleasant sounding? And is it visually appealing? Not the packaging design, but the brand itself, the logo, the name of the company, the logo type, if you want to use that. As far as memorable goes, a great brand name is it should stick in people's minds, right? Think about how people will recall it, like Tesla, right? It's gonna stick in your mind. Apple, it's simple, it's clean, it sticks in your mind. And as far as
Apple, yeah.
Right, memorability. As far as memorable goes, I mean, Joe's 6-pack computers. It's interesting, but it's not really going to speak to you in the same way that Apple does.
Do you know what was a great brand and packaging wise? They were incredible.
What's that?
Gateway.
They had the cows. They had the cows. That was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Well, the Gateway was out of Texas, wasn't it? No, I know Dell's out of Texas.
I don't know.
Gateway was
Gateway.
when the computers first start really getting home computers.
Yeah, the home PCs.
Really
yeah,
big gateway came out, and it was you would literally buy a computer because you'd get that box. People were buying the computers
really.
to get the box. I remember it. I bought a computer because of the box.
You wanted the cow box.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was so cool to get this really crisp, clean. It was almost like getting a new house.
Sure.
It was amazing.
Well, people feel the same way about getting a new Mac. Yeah, you get the nice, clean box, and you like the design. Sure. Go ahead, David. Sorry.
I don't know. What were we talking about? So, out of curiosity, Matt, what operating system was on the Gateway PC that you bought?
Holy shit!
I know it was Windows, but what revision of Windows?
No, it would have been like Windows 1.
It was probably like 95 or something like that.
It was about
95.
Yeah, it would have been 95.
95 is the time when they put dates on them. Before that, I think the previous revision was 3.1.
Because I got the computer in 96.
Okay, so you'd been Windows 95. So Windows 95 was nice. I liked Windows 98.
Well, they were all.
I was one of the very few people that had Windows ME, and I loved it. A lot of people did not, but I liked Windows ME. And then XP, man, XP was such a damn good operating system. Oh,
I don't know,
I miss
David.
XP. Even to today, I miss XP.
I was a big fan of Vista. I think Vista was where it's at.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Windows 8.
You know what's cool?
I mean, I'll take Vista over Windows 8.
In the early days of the internet, and talking 93, 94, somewhere around there, I worked at a college, and they had there was no Wi-Fi at that point. Was it? No, but I had the plug-in, like the broadband, like the early broadband. So my internet was instant. The college had it. It was Lebanon Valley College. They had this instant.
Oh yeah,
just amazing.
Yeah.
But if you had Li-Fi,
the Fly would have been better.
Just turn the lights.
No.
Or a hot sand battery in your computer.
Yeah, hot sand battery. I mean, I've got a gigabit network here now that I run about 750 to 800 megasecond. I can stream multiple HD videos, 4K, and Noah can play online video games, and I do podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't need anything necessarily faster until I buy that, $50,000 85-inch Samsung QLED 8K television that, it's literally, they're going to have to install a new sun to power that damn thing.
Exactly.
But yeah. So anyway,
before we lose too much interest in the main topic, so that was creative appeal. Number three of the three secrets to creating a killer brand name is technical consideration. Technical considerations. These are things
walk me through that.
These are things that people don't really consider until it's too late, right? So the first one, obviously, is one that you and I have run up to multiple times: legal availability. Does somebody already have this name, right?
Yeah.
Not just legal, but just like URL and social presence, things like that.
Yeah.
A lot of times, people will actually found LLCs, David, specifically just to squat on the name. It happens. It happens.
Yes. And people will buy tons of URLs just to sit on the URLs.
They happen to do that, and it's very expensive to do so.
It is. Oh my God. Oh my God! If one of these days, my bank app's gonna be like, "Hey, do you want to sort these and see how much you spent with GoDaddy in the last 5 years?" And I'm gonna be
exactly.
Like, absolutely not, absolutely not. I do need to find a better place to register.
I found a much better
GoDaddy.
place. I'll share it with you after the show. I found a place that actually sells it at wholesale price, zero markup from what they would buy it for. So significantly less expensive than GoDaddy. So I'll share that after the show. All right. So the second part of technical considerations is linguistic viability. This is something a lot of people really don't consider, but actually big companies spend a lot of money on this sort of thing when they're coming up with new product names. Linguistic viability. Because how often does a word mean one thing in one language, you go to another country, and it has a different meaning? or
Yeah,
something
the
something
Chevy Nova
similar.
did very well here in the U.S.
Yeah.
The Chevy Nova did not do very well in Latin America.
Why is that?
No go.
Ah, see, no go. Right. So there are linguistic considerations as well, especially if you plan on being a bigger company. Certain things like can that can the native language of another country that you plan on doing business with in the future, can the native language support all of the sounds and syllables that are in your name? Right? What if you were
Yeah.
to go to a place, look, I don't mean this in a bad way, denigrating way at all, but there are certain Asian countries where L's and R's aren't necessarily
Oh yeah.
distinguished between. And if you have a lot of L's and R's in your name, it's going to be problematic if you want to do business in those countries.
Yeah.
So these are things you got to consider. And the third one is ease of use. So the name should be easy to pronounce and spell, especially if you want to get a URL. You know, if it's a hard word to spell, if it's hard to pronounce, people can't really get it. And this is one that I've run into also because, like, you know, a lot of times you'll have an idea for a name and you're like, all right, I can't really get that in English because somebody else has a similar name or it's already taken or whatever.
Mhm.
But, you know, this name in like Latin or this name in like, you know, this other like language or whatever sounds pretty cool. I'm gonna go with that, but it has like a really weird spelling or really weird pronunciation. And even if it didn't have a weird pronunciation, nobody knows what that word means anyways, unless they happen to speak that language, right? So ease
Yeah.
of use also is something you really got to consider when coming up with a name. So that's one that unfortunately it's tough coming up with a new name because people squat on the names or all the good names are already taken. So you end up with like a really long URL that doesn't mean
So
anything. It's like a whole
yeah.
sentence by the time you come up with a good
I'll
name.
tell you this right now. I'll tell you if somebody gives me go to my website, the Underdog Journey Peanut Butter Brew Bones and Dog Treat Emporium.net.
Right. I've seen things like that.
out.
It's nuts.
I'm out. You can do better than that. Come on now.
Right.
You can do better. Do better.
So much better.
And it's getting more difficult too. That's the problem. Is the longer this you know, we move on with society, the more people are going to come up with good names, and they're all
Yeah.
taken. And honestly, unfortunately, there are a lot of registrars like GoDaddy that have algorithms built in to where they automatically buy up word combinations. They have systems
Yeah.
that automatically buy up word combinations, and they sell them back to you at premium prices. So you actually have to pay more for URLs of certain word combinations. Now, no business actually has that name, but somebody, some computer somewhere thought it was a good word combination. They're just sitting on it and waiting to sell it to you for 100 times more than you would have paid otherwise.
So there was actually GoDaddy I think they're in the process of being sued right now from somebody that bought a website, bought a URL domain, and then that domain became extremely popular. He was using it, had it mapped, had everything. It was he was using it. And then GoDaddy tried to yank it from him so they could make more money with somebody else.
Right. That's it.
And I don't think the judge is the judge is not very happy about this. And I don't think GoDaddy's going to come off very clean in this one. This will be a settle out of court thing.
Yeah.
That way, and the reason they're going to settle out of court is not because of the money. It's going to be so that they can
keep doing the
they
same
can
thing,
put a
and nobody
box
will know they
around
did it
it.
in the first place.
Well, it's because then they can put a box around it and it's not public record.
Well, that's my point. Is how often have they done this in the past and they didn't get sued? They just happened to get caught this time. And it's not just GoDaddy. All the big registrars do things that are similar.
Absolutely.
Because they want to sell back these premium domains.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of thoughts on that.
Yeah, I got to look something up here right now, just real quick.
Yeah. So those are the 3 keys to coming up with a killer brand name: strategic relevance, creative appeal, and technical consideration. Now that you know those 3 things, I'm going to say take them all, write them on a piece of paper. Okay. Take that piece of paper, crumble it up, and toss it out the window. Because you know what?
Right out the window.
After all that shenanigans, doesn't make make a difference at all. None of that matters when it really comes down to it. And I'll give you a prime example of why that is.
Michelin Man.
Not the Michelin Man.
Okay.
Man, it's spicy product Michelin Day.
The best example of why none of that means anything, and you can do anything as far as naming your company. iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio proves that you can take a complete placeholder name that they never intended on using and saying, that's the name of our multi-million, if not billion-dollar company. That's it.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it comes down to execution. Liquid Death is also kind of a good example. They came up with that name to be edgy, so people would say, dude, what the fuck? And it worked. And it really worked. iHeartRadio, I don't know how they got executives to sign off on it. They probably just ran out of time on a project and said, screw it, we're going with that. This is what we're going with. We're going with that. And they just ran, and it worked. And honestly, it does. So my marketing agency for the longest time was Going West Media. Eventually, I rebranded that to Market Tree, and recently I rebranded to something else. So in the end, it doesn't really matter how you brand yourself as long as you execute and produce the best quality stuff. Now, over a period of time, there's a certain brand equity that comes along with that you need to take into consideration, like X, from Twitter. That was the dumbest name change in history.
Jackass.
They lost all of that brand equity. But there are times when you can iHeartRadio it, and you don't have any brand equity going in. As long as you execute from that point forward, you're good to go. You can name your company.
As long as you execute. I like that. It's nice.
Execute.
It's purely accidental, but it works.
You can name your company Jim Bob's Computer Store, and you can sell, the best computers in the entire world and become the next Apple. As long as you execute, it's a thing.
Oh, is that a Jim Bob's? Oh, yeah.
Right. Look, Big Sandy Superstore. That's a prime example.
Yeah.
I hate that name. I hate that name. I can't tell you how bad I hate that name. But they sell
love the store.
Millions and millions and millions of dollars. Ollie's bargain bin outlet, whatever. Ollie's makes a crap ton of money. There are a ton of companies like this that have
save money by not sweeping the floors every day.
Exactly. But
have you ever been in one?
No, I've never been one. I know they make a crap ton of money.
There's one down the street from us. Well, down the street, so it's 10, 15 minutes away. But I love going in there. I've
never been in one. No,
so much random. It's like going to a flea market.
Okay.
You just don't know what you're gonna walk into. I love it.
That's pretty funny.
So great.
Yeah.
Ollie's. And the floor is always dirty.
Is it really?
It's like a flea market. Yeah. It's like going to a flea market. It really is. And it's cheap.
There you go.
That's what it is.
It's the trade-off for the price, apparently.
Yeah. If you have a house that has dogs and kids and whatnot, and you want to buy some area rugs that don't cost a fortune, Ollie's.
Good to know. I'll remember that. I have both.
That's what I did. I went to Ollie's and got rugs because, I spent a couple $100 on rugs as opposed to a couple $1,000 on rugs. And when I'm an empty nester, I'll get nice rugs.
Yeah, when your wife eventually kicks you out because her house is covered in rugs, then you can have all the rugs you want in your own place.
She's gonna leave him. I'd say I'll give her 2 more years before she walks out.
Not a chance.
Nah, he's paying for her whole Disney addiction.
Oh yeah, that is true. But if she ever gets help for it, then it's done.
You know how many cruises she goes on per year?
33.
At least.
Yep.
No.
That's on the low end.
No. I think she's doing. And she's added another one earlier today or yesterday. She told me about another one she's doing. So it'll be 4, 5, maybe 6. I don't know this year. I don't know.
You give that woman whatever she wants.
It's true, David. She's a gem.
No.
She is a gem.
Yeah. She puts up with me. She's earned it.
She's a saint at least then.
Doesn't put up with you. She tolerates you.
No, she puts up. She enjoys my company, son. Enjoys my company and craves it when she's not around me.
Fire protection.
All right. We're not getting back to the main topic, but that's basically it.
There's a main topic. Hey, when are we going to do the main topic?
That was the main topic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, David was paying attention.
My wife?
David was actually paying attention the whole time.
Yeah, I was. It was good. Yeah, the whole time. We went through the 3 bullet points that you said there previously that we spoke about and talked about name and stuff. Yeah, we did that. It was all here tonight on the Underdog Journey.
David was absolutely paying attention. And look, the main video didn't catch any of this, but the second video after we rebooted totally caught it. What's happening May 9th?
November 9th, the
November
day
9th.
the Edmunds Fitzgerald's goes down. It went down. And that is the day to be remembered.
What?
Okay.
The Edmunds Fitzgerald, the iron ore.
He
the
wants you to
Fitzy,
remember the Edmund
the
Fitzgerald.
Fitzy. Yeah, you know the
Why?
song?
Why are we remembering the Edmund Fitzgerald?
Well,
aside from the song.
It was a very famous shipwreck, apart from the song, that happened like that. Like, it sunk so fast, the captain, who had a phone in his hand, didn't have time to radio.
So I have a feeling on November 9th, that's the least of our country's problems on November 9th. I'm not getting political. I'm just saying, regardless of who wins on November 5th, November 9th, we're going to have very different conversations than the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Oh, yeah, that is true. That's true. We'll talk about this next year then.
Yeah, next year we'll talk about the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
Yes, but we'll all be in a bunker underground somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, either way, we should honor the sacrifices of the Great Lakes sailors.
We'll all be powering our.
Oh, they did that on the Great Lakes, huh?
with hot sand,
Wi-Fi,
and,
hot sand,
and
and
fusion,
poop.
and hot fusion.
Do you know what's going to happen
Yeah.
during the election? Nothing. It's going to go off like clockwork. Everything's going to work. Life will go on.
Yeah, that always happens. That sounds totally legit.
That everybody's going to be
Yeah.
mature and adult.
That sounds legit. I get that.
Or aren't you just a collection of rare pennies?
Exactly.
So funny.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Did I tell you about that, West? I tell you about that,
You
right?
told me about that. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
I don't even know that it's funny, but it's really funny.
We'll
It's
tell you
funny.
after the show.
We'll tell you
Okay.
after the show.
Hey, you know
And you
how-
have to say it. You have to say it for those people out there watching. You have to say it just like that. Well, aren't you just a collection of rare pennies?
Sounds like it's a good
so
compliment.
good.
It's a very good
It's
compliment.
great. Oh, that's good. So I've been West. He's been Dave, and that guy in the back's been Matt.
He's been Matt. That's been the cat.
Oh my God,
And
it's ending.
we will see you guys next
I wasn't
week.
prepared.
Out.
Basically infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I bring it to your city or your hometown. I go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funkin' in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. The neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the